What's going on, everybody? It's to be your boy
DJ Anonymous.
DJ Anonymous on another episode, Sports Biz Music, the podcast. And I know y'all tired of me telling this stuff about me, trying to be consistent with the podcast and everything, but I'm not even going to even do it. But I will say this, and this is a promise, like Jagged Edge. I am going to come on at least once a week to do, because it's something I thought about doing since I started the podcast, especially like maybe a couple years ago, but I'm going to really start doing it now. I'm going to do weekly podcasts. I mean, I'm going to try to do interviews and stuff or whatnot, or even try to pop up, here and there, especially if it's like something very current, very big, which has been a lot of, news in the sports biz and music, industries and stuff like that. But I told myself that I want to do weekly podcasts, mainly focus on football. Of course, when basketball and hockey and all the other sports come around, I may have my ones and twos, maybe my thoughts in there. But really, the main focus for the next August, September, October, November, 30 weeks, some crazy number like that. It's really mainly gonna be focused on football for like the weekly podcast. Really, I want to do that because football is my favorite sport. If y'all know, I love football. I play football. I played at my senior pace. If y'all know, y'all from the crib. So football has always been like my passion. I could talk about it all day, whether it's high school football, college, whether it's fantasy football, whether it's college football 25, whether it's Madden 25 or any other football game in the past. I just love football. So on this show today or tonight, I want to talk about week 0. I actually wanted to record the day of when week 0 was over with because there wasn't that many games, but life is lifing. So I was just like, you know what? Let me pick a day to record. Today, as I record, is Wednesday night, so it's almost midnight. So I was like, you know what? Let me do this. Like what happened with week 0. And then I can do a preview for week 1 and whatnot. So, for that being said, let's get to it. So, game of the day, of course, was the first game, 12 o'clock noon, in Dublin, Ireland. Georgia Tech, Yellow Jackets against them Seminoles of Florida State up there in Tallahassee. I'm not going to lie, I didn't expect Florida State to lose. Honestly, because even though they got throttled by Georgia last year in the Orange Bowl, Florida State had one of the most talented and deep teams last year. So, making, more additions to the transfer portal, of course, which is popular right now in college sports. They could be a good team. I mean, they still can be a good team. This year's only been one game, but I was surprised on how Georgia Tech was just dominating them on the running game. Like, Florida State had one of the best front sevens, for the last 2 to 3 years, and to see them get just the ball, the boys just going through their throat. Whether it was the running back, whether it was King, the quarterback for Georgia Tech, it was crazy. So I was kind of in and out the game because, y'all, if y'all know, I'm a father. Now I'm a father of 2 now. So, like I said, life is life. But I watched probably maybe 60% of the game. So it was a good game. I was happy as hell because Florida State lost. You know what I'm saying? we was hearing all that. I was hearing all that talk from Seminole fans all last year and throughout the summer. Oh, this is gonna be our year. This is gonna be our year. And I didn't know. I thought it was gonna actually win this game. I actually bet them to win the game, but they lost. It was bittersweet because I wanted some money, but at the same time they lost. But to get to the transfer portal and the moves that they make, and one of the moves that they make was to get DJ Ugly Ass. That's my nickname for him, respectfully. DJ, he wasn't really that good to me when he was in Clemson, in my opinion. He wasn't good at all. He was just, to me, he was talented, but he couldn't throw the ball. And it's not that he don't have an arm strength. He do have a great arm strength. It's just like, I just felt like he was so scared. Like, I don't know, like people say, oh, his accuracy off and everything. I just think like, like I played football, on the high school level. I can't really say much about college and the NFL, but you do get jitters. And I just felt like every game he had the jitters, especially when he's playing at Clemson. Now, Oregon State, he played very well, but if you look at how Oregon State was constructed last year, they had a lot of great running backs, so he kind of got like the benefit of having a great running game. So I'm like, all right, he gonna come to Florida State. Florida State got some good running backs, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna give Georgia Tech their credit too, because Georgia Tech, they made a lot of moves too. A few coaching changes on the defensive side, and offensive side. So pretty much they had a different team this year, a better team than they did last year. They beat my damn Hurricanes, So anyway, last year. But this year gonna be a different year. But anyway, I just kind of like when they even make the move, I kind of question. I'm like, okay, he's coming back to the ACC, which he didn't really have, that much success besides his freshman year, and it was just I guess, and just watching this game, he had 193 passing yards, and that's, pretty much how he was, his sophomore year in Clemson. Like, he has an arm, but he's not like a Trevor Lawrence. He's not like a Kelly Bryant. He definitely not no Deshaun Watson. You know what I'm saying? So it was just, like he was just, I don't know, like I don't know what's up with him, because he is a pretty smart player. He knows his plays, his coverages and everything, but he's average, and it's crazy. But he got the whole season, to prove me wrong, to prove everybody wrong. But for now, he DJ Ugly Ass. It wasn't really that much games. After that game, you had the Montana State and New Mexico. Which New Mexico, y'all been trash for a long, long time. Y'all lost to Montana State. That is crazy. 35-31. Y'all was beating them too. I think it was like 31-14 when I once seen it. And then Montana State just came and I caught like the fourth quarter, like it was like 8 minutes left, and the boys just scored. Good defense, good offense. It was just crazy how they just came back on them. That was a good game though. SMU and Nevada, I just caught the highlights. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of surprised how SMU, they won, but they kind of struggled against Nevada. For most people, Nevada is gonna be not a horrible team, but they wasn't gonna really compete with most good teams. This year, SMU was like one of the sleepers in the ACC because of what their offense and everything. I'm thinking they was going to score like 50 or 60 on this Nevada defense, but nah, they came out, sluggish and whatnot. But after watching the highlights, they made a I don't want to say a lucky comeback, but they made like a comeback that was it was like less than like 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, but it was a good game. Preston Stone is a quarterback I'm pay attention to throughout the season. I think I believe I gotta look it up because throughout the weeks I'm gonna start looking up the different prospects as well because I'm gonna talk about the prospects and then slowly I'm gonna talk about the recruits and everything too. So as the season go along, we all gonna learn. You know what I'm saying? So because with me, I used to be into like the prospects and the recruiting of the time, recruiting at the time, like when I was like in college, but I just stopped like not caring about it. It was a lot. It's a lot of players, especially now with the transfer portal. So it's a lot going on. But Precious, no, I'm gonna pay attention to him a lot. This, especially now he in the ACC. I'm an ACC country, so I'm gonna still look out on him. And then the last game, as far as like D1 was Delaware State, which is the FCS team against Hawaii, and Hawaii won 35-14. I definitely didn't see that game. It came on at 12 midnight. Hearing that Hawaii is gonna have a decent team this year, but I haven't really been watching Hawaii since they had my boy. RIP to him. Damn, what's his name, man? My guys, hold on, y'all, cause Colt Brandon. Yep, Colt Brandon. I ain't have to look it up. Colt Brandon. RIP to him. That was the last time I stayed up like for real every weekend to watch Hawaii play was because of Colt Brandon. That boy was the truth. Probably to me, in my opinion, he's top 5 all time as far as like quarterbacks. Like I've seen Vince Young, I've seen Tim Tebow, of course, Cam Newton, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, who else? Matt Leinart. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen all of them, but Colt Brandon to me, like I'm from Miami, so like we is like 6, 7, 8 hours behind. So like watching them boys at 12 minutes. I remember one time doing a schedule, they had a game that started at like 1:00. Cause I think 1:00 over here is like, see, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. I think it was like a 7:00, 6 or 7:00 game for them. But I stood up. I think I took a nap. I think it was on a Friday night. It wasn't on like no Saturday. It was on a Friday night. And I like, man, let me take me a nap. I ain't got to worry about practice. It was no, like, we had no practice and stuff one day. It was something random. I think, no, nah. Yeah, it was on a Friday where we had like a Thursday night game. Then we had practice that Friday, and then that Saturday we was off because we already had our practice the day after we watched film and we practiced a little bit. So Saturday we had off, but yeah, the game started at like 1:00 and then around like almost 5:00 in the damn morning. But guess what? I stood up. I'm like, I ain't going nowhere tomorrow, the next day. So Colt Brandon was the truth. RIP to him. I also seen some highlights of the FAMU and Norfolk State game. That looked real good. As far as like the game, like the back and forth and everything. FAMU gonna have another good team this year. I think they ranked in FCS. They ranked was 25. So I feel like they're gonna be a good team this year. Who else? I think it was Tarleton State and was it Tarleton and McNeese? It was one of them schools. Tarleton State. It was another school. I forgot because I wasn't really like this. Like every year, even when it's week 0, I'm always tuned in. But I wasn't really into like college football this past week because it was a lot going on. But I watched, like I said, about 60% of the Florida State Georgia Tech game. Montana, New Mexico, I caught it real late, and then the rest I just watched a whole bunch of highlights. So yeah, man. So that was week 0. Now let's preview week 1. and it's loaded. When I say loaded, it is loaded. So first things first, tomorrow, or today, or tonight, whenever y'all listen to the podcast, it's the official start of week 1, Thursday, August 29th. The first game is going to be, and I'm looking at the FBS schedule. I'm not even looking at FCS. I'm going to look at the FCS and the D1, the D2 and D3. I'm going to scope through all those, but I'm going to talk about the games, like the teams I already know. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk FBS first. Howard, Rutgers. I'm gonna watch that game because both teams supposed to be really good this year. Howard, especially in the FCS division, they supposed to be real good. Rutgers supposed to be very underrated this year in a very deep Big Ten. I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit, but they gonna be they gonna be real good, especially defensively. Western Carolina, NC State is gonna be good this year. They should win that game. Like Rutgers should beat Howard. Wake Forest, North Carolina State, Wake Forest, I feel like it's gonna take a step back. They lost a lot of people in the past. Well, last year they kind of took a step back, but let me see if they young talent. So I don't know. Maybe Wake Forest is one of them teams that really gotta like pay attention really throughout the whole season because they had a lot of young talent last year. So we're gonna see if they're gonna. I guess we're gonna see the development. You know what I'm saying? I can see Wake Forest going like a good 7-5 this year. But Wake Forest is one of them teams. Like every 3 to 4 years, they always end up being undefeated, 8-0, 9-0, going to the ACC championship, going to the Orange Bowl, something like that. So we're gonna see UCF versus New Hampshire. UCF should win. Who else? You got UM Monroe, Jackson State. Let me see like the good games in the teams. Like Arkansas, they should blow out Arkansas, Pine Bluff, but I'm gonna pay attention to Arkansas a lot this year. North Carolina and Minnesota, I feel like that's gonna be the game of the day tomorrow. We got to see how North Carolina, y'all represent the ACC, and Minnesota, Big Ten got deep. So y'all boys, man, I'm gonna talk about the Big Ten a little bit, but North Carolina, Minnesota is gonna be a good game. Prediction, I can see North Carolina winning 29-24, something like that. But I think it might be high scoring. You know what? It's gonna be 42-38, North Carolina. Both teams are known to have good defenses, but they defense are not like lockdown. They more they bait you. You could get your yards on them, but they corners and safeties, they could pick you off or they gonna have good rushes. So, and those are teams right here I'm gonna pay attention to a lot too. Colorado, they play North Dakota State. Hey, that's gonna be a good game. I'm not gonna lie, cause North Dakota State. I'm gonna try to interview because this what I want to do too. It's a lot of new things I want to do with this podcast. I want to try to interview some of the ADs this year. Like North Carolina State, y'all need to just come on to D1, come on to FBS. Like y'all been so dominant in the FCS, for like since I was like in elementary school, middle school. Like y'all always been in the playoffs. Y'all always either won a championship or been running up. It is time, and I feel like this game, I know Colorado's gonna be better this year, but I won't be surprised if this game is high scoring, or even if it's a low scoring game, it's gonna be close. So y'all stay on the lookout with this game, all right? But I got Colorado winning 45-28. I got them winning because I got to see the defense too. That's another thing. It's teams I want to see all around, but Colorado's really the defense. The offense, I'm not worried about. Shador and them boys, y'all, Horn Jr., all them boys, y'all, Travis Hunter, you play both sides. You lock down defense, but The secondary is not really worried about. I'm worried about the trenches. Well, really on offense too, because I want to know. Sorry, y'all. I want to know how the offense line is going to be and how the defensive line is going to be. So pay attention to y'all in the trenches. What are those games? Utah plays Southern Utah tomorrow, but I want to see how Utah is. They got Cam coming back. He was hurt all last year because he got hurt the previous year. I want to see how he's going to perform. So yeah, I mean, there's some other games that's good. Like Illinois, I want to see how they're going to be. They play Eastern Illinois, see how they're going to be. I want to see Coastal Carolina, Jacksonville State should be a good, mid-major teams going at it. It was just a few years ago that Coastal Carolina was, they was about to make history, but it's a lot of good games tomorrow. Now let's talk about Friday. Friday ain't really as much because Thursday got a lot of games. But before we go to Saturday, I want to see the FCS as well, and D2 and D3 before I go to Saturday, because Saturday, it's crazy, and then you got Sunday and Monday. Friday, Lehigh Army, the game. Shout out to my troops. Shout out to Army. I think one year y'all lost to Lehigh, one of them teams, like Army. But Army, I'm gonna watch the game. Oklahoma should blow Temple out. I'm gonna pay attention to Oklahoma. Oklahoma to me, I'm gonna pay attention to them too this year. They going to they in the SEC now. A lot of people are pretty much thinking that they may be one of the last teams or maybe mediocre this year because they have the skill players, but they don't have the they don't have the big dogs that handle with the big linemen, the big D linemen in the SEC. But we'll see. But I want to see them tomorrow. Florida Atlantic, I'm an FIU alumni. Forget them Owls. They go against Michigan State, another team I want to look at this year. They took a step back last year. A lot of stuff going on, but I'm going to see how they're going to be. Michigan State is like a Wake Forest. For some reason, random, they could be 2-11. They could be 7-5, 6-5. The following year or the year after that, they become undefeated. They become the Cinderella team and everything. So I'm going to pay attention to Michigan State. Duke play Elon. I feel like Duke is going to have another step back this year, especially with the additions to in the ACC. I'm going to talk about that too later. I'm going to talk about all the expansions this year before we end the show. Western Michigan going with Wisconsin. Tyler Van Dyke is in Wisconsin right now. I had my criticism with him. I just think it was the right time to go to a new start, a new school, a fresh start. Wisconsin's gonna be good for him because they got a great running game. They got a great offense and defense too as well. So I'm gonna pay attention to that game too, and I'm gonna pay attention to Wisconsin the whole year. TCU Stanford, I feel like it's the game of the day for Friday. TCU took a step back last year, but TCU, just like the Wake Forests, just like the Wisconsins, the Michigan States, they had them years where they are bad, but then recruiting and then teams like this, they don't really need all them transfers. They still get them. They get the diamond and rough type players, but TCU, let's see how they gonna be in this new Big 12. I'm gonna talk about that too. It's man, I can go 3 hours talking about college football alone, but we're gonna talk about the expansions. But TCU, Stanford, they new coaching and everything last year. They're in the ACC right now. I think they're gonna make a little step up, but it's not gonna be a drastic improvement. I feel like they first of all, they just came into the ACC, so they gotta pretty much get used to the speed, because the ACC to me is much faster than the Pac-12. Even though the Pac-12 RP to the Pac-12, but the Pac-12 was fast, but it wasn't like the ACC to me. The ACC to me was more fast and a little bit more physical than the Pac-12. Even though Stanford is very physical, I ain't questioning their physicalness because them boys they physical. I'm scared about them boys. I don't think we played them this year, but whenever we play Stanford, I feel like either next year or the following year, it's gonna be scary because they developing right now. They trying to get their groove back, and now, which is scary now, Stanford they in the conference where they could get more players from Florida. They could get more players from the Carolinas, from Georgia. Like they gonna start recruiting more players from the South and even up in the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? So TCU and Stanford gonna be a good game for Friday. So let me go back to use FCS real quick to see if there's any games. Oh yeah, North Alabama, Southeast Missouri State for week 0. North Alabama look good. They always look good. All right, so Thursday, let me see. Youngstown State, I know about them a little bit. They've been kind of quiet the last few years. They play Villanova tomorrow. They should win. Let me see. Virginia Military Institute, William and Mary. That's gonna be a good game. Rivalry. Let me see. Mercer. That should be. They go. Thing about Mercer. They are a good FCS team. They always challenge Alabama within like the first 3 quarters or the first half, and then they just they lose whatever. But it's all good. Let me see. Missouri play Murray State. That's another. Let me talk about this. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till we talk about the conference and stuff. Let me sip my wine. If y'all know, I'm a wine drinker. I drink 1 glass of red wine every night. I just started that this week, but yeah, we're gonna be talking about a lot of stuff. This whole. I don't really go by seasons with my podcast. I never will. But I'm going to say this new start of, what episode is this, 210, 2011? Trust me, we going to be good, dog, especially during football season. Kansas, Linwood. Kansas is another team I'm going to pay attention to. Let me see. It just opened up to a lot of other D1 schools playing the FCS schools, so it's gonna be some good games tomorrow. Even though it's SBS versus FCS, but some of the FCS schools are good. Like Sacramento State and San Jose State, I could see Sacramento State upsetting San Jose State. What about Friday? Friday, Colgate versus Maine. It's probably gonna be the game of the day for FCS, Colgate and Maine, and Thursday is going to be, of course, VMI and William and Mary. I feel that's going to be a good game. All right, so let me go back to FBS because we're going to talk about Saturday. Talk about Saturday real quick. All right, so Saturday going to be crazy. And it's crazy that Georgia and Clemson play noon. This game this game is hard to predict because West Virginia and Penn State play 12 noon too. I love college, man. I love this, especially now that all these schools going to different conferences and stuff, so they have to play. It was a thing. Before I talk about the games on Saturday, and then we got a few on Sunday, I think 1 on Monday. We got 1 FBS game on Sunday, but I know some FCS games on Sunday too. And Monday is Labor's Day. Yeah, Labor Day. So yeah, hold on. Oh shoot, hold on. I'm gonna do this Division 2, D2 and D3 live. After I do FBS and FCS on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. All right, so Georgia, Clemson. It's hard to predict. feel like it's gonna be the game of the day. My head say my head say Clemson because Clemson is they got a championship defense, all them young talent coming back. But my heart saying Georgia because they brought like their whole team from last year. This is going to be a battle. This is always a battle. This they call this. I didn't even know the name of this until like the other day. I got to finish the YouTube channel. I'm gonna shout out the dude who made up this who talked about this because I think he's a Georgia fan. I'm gonna shout out his YouTube channel after I watched this. It's called a Border Rivalry. I didn't even know that was the name of it. You know what I'm saying? So I knew there was a rivalry, but they don't play as much. But I didn't know it was called a Border Rivalry. But I see this game going. The last time they played the show was very low scoring. I want to say 23-21 type game, like 21-19, like them type of game. Cause they defense, both of their defenses is crazy. And we gonna talk about like the bracket, who's gonna be in my bracket. I want to wait to see at least week 1. So once week 1 is over, I'm gonna come up with my prediction for who's gonna be my top 12 teams. I know a lot of people did theirs early, but with me, I like to see week 0 and week 1, and then throughout the season, I like keep my prediction, but I will also be like, all right, I see why this team should be in there, But I'm gonna do my prediction after Monday. All right. So we got Penn State, West Virginia. West Virginia's another team. See, these teams, like I said, like the West Virginias, the Iowas, the Wake Forests, TCU's, Michigan States, they always like, and I'm hearing about West Virginia, like they not ranked, but they got some good transfers, some good recruits coming in that came in, plus with the talent they had last year that was very young. I won't be surprised if West Virginia upset Penn State, but I like Penn State in this game. I see it 35-20. I feel like West Virginia, they at home, they up there in Morgantown. They gonna, cause this like a rival. I didn't even know there was like a rival until damn, what's my boy name? R.I.P. to him. He was a big West Virginia fan. He was he got a YouTube. But they Penn State and West Virginia, they are actually rivals. They go way back. They kind of like the Clemson Georgia rivalry. Like they don't really play as much, but when they play, it's kind of like even Miami and Notre Dame. Like we don't play them as much, but when we play them, it's like you see it's a rivalry. Penn State, 35-20. Penn State I feel like this is so deep, and like I said, I'm gonna talk about the conferences and everything before the show. And Iowa, Illinois State, they should take care of them, but I'm gonna pay attention to Iowa this year too. They always have a great defense, but their offense if they had a good offense, Iowa could be one of them teams that could be a threat. Virginia Tech, Vanderbilt. Got to put my eye on Virginia Tech this year, especially with the quarterback that they have. He's very talented. I don't know his name off the rip right now, but I've seen highlights of his work last year. He's a bad boy, and Virginia Tech might be back, and that's coming from a Hurricane fan because I don't like them either. But I always have respect for Virginia. You got these rivalries that I respect Florida State. I respect Florida, but it's bad blood. But then you got the other rivalries like Virginia Tech. What's another rivalry that Miami have? Like a Boston College, Notre Dame. I hate Notre Dame. You have these rivalries it's a rival, but y'all just got respect for each other. It's not like a bad blood, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to keep my eye on Virginia Tech. And plus, one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time, Mike Vick, went there. So, of course. But I'm going to keep my eye on them. UConn, Maryland. Maryland, I got them to win in Louisville. It's another team that I want to watch this year. Purdue, Indiana State, they should win. Pittsburgh, Kent State. Pittsburgh should win. Navy, Bucknell. Navy should win, but it's something about them, like Bucknell, like them old school FCS teams, like Yale and all of them. They always beat, find a way to beat Navy and Army. Tennessee is gonna be a fun team to watch this year. They should handle Chattanooga. They got a great offense and defense, especially they two DNs. I gotta, I'm gonna check them out. I can't wait. Oklahoma State should handle South Dakota State. I'm gonna watch them a lot this year too. Cincy should handle Townsend. Washington State, Pac-2 handle Portland State. Ohio State, they gonna manhandle Akron. Got to pay attention to them boys too because a lot of changes, and then their coach got a lot of pressure now. Like I said, we're gonna talk more about that a little bit later with the conferences. Same thing with Texas. They should handle Colorado State. And I feel like Texas, out of all the teams, Texas is one of the few teams that need to win it this year because this next game I'm going to talk about I'm going to explain to y'all. So, real quick. Miami and Florida. Of course, you know me, I'm going to go for Miami. I'm biased. I like us winning 38-20, 38-20, maybe 40. You know what? 45-20. Florida's not a bad team. They just very young. Very, very young. But they going to be scary in the future for the SEC. Even next year, we play them next year again. Florida is going to, I feel like Florida is going to have a type of season next year like Florida State did last year. Like, all that talent, plus the transfers and everything, they're gonna, because Gainesville is Gainesville. Me coming from Florida, the hot spots is always going to be Gainesville, Tallahassee, and Miami. And then now you got UCF and Orlando. Them going to the Big 12, but the main three is always going to be hot spots, especially with the NIL. Gainesville got the money. Gainesville got the most money out of everybody in the state. Gainesville got it. I love my Miami got the money too now. Don't get me wrong, they spending and they doing good, but UF got the money. Out of all the teams in Florida, shit, maybe in the South, them boys got it because they literally might be. I always thought when I was younger, probably like when I was in college, I always thought that maybe Alabama could be like the Harvard of the South. No, it's Florida. Maybe Alabama they probably be like the Yale, but Florida's the Harvard. They education is top notch. The athletic, like I can't hate like the student athletes, like all around them. They just amazing. Like it's something about Florida. And Florida was one of my dream schools to go to because of that. But it's so hard to get in because it's like an Ivy League, and I feel like in a few years they're going to be Ivy League. But Saturday they're going to get their behinds whipped by us, by the U. FIU, that's my alumni. I went to FIU because I couldn't afford to go to Miami. They play Indiana tomorrow. I gotta look at that boy quarterback Jenkins. I played him in college football 25-2. I'm gonna have my review on that next episode when I do like my bracket and everything. I don't know because I don't want to say we're gonna get our behinds whooped. Indiana is a good team, but I think we might get our ass whooped though. I see it 35-14. We're gonna score. I want them to prove me wrong because I'm a Panther. I'm a Golden Panther. Shit, I'm gonna be biased. We're gonna win 35-34. Fuck it. But I actually want to try to go to one of these games, a few games this year, especially like when they play like on a Thursday and stuff like that. UTEP play Nebraska. I feel like it's gonna be an underrated good game. But Nebraska's gonna win. Massachusetts, Eastern Michigan, and let me tell you something. I'm a college football head, so I'm gonna watch all these games as much as I can. But like Massachusetts, Eastern Michigan, I ain't really. App State, East Tennessee State, they should handle them. Iowa State, North Dakota State. North Dakota State might beat Iowa State. I ain't gonna lie, because I think they beat them a few years ago. If I'm not mistaken, that was North Dakota State. It was one of them schools. Syracuse, Ohio. Syracuse gonna win. UTSA, Kennesaw State. Let me see, Air Force. Air Force is a team I'm gonna look at this year. They should beat Merrimack. I don't know what team is that. That sound like a. Let me look this up. Hold on. Is that an FCS team? That shit look like they. That shit look like they D2, D3, but I think they must have just moved up. 'Cause I never really heard of them before. I don't know. There's so many colleges, especially like when like I ain't gonna lie, like when it's college football, when it's college basketball and like baseball, a lot of these schools are considered, they all grouped up as D1, so it's not D1, D2 or FBS, FCS. Is literally like it's like 200 and something teams or 300 something teams in D1 in basketball, which is it's crazy. See Northwestern Miami, Ohio. That's a toss up. Northern Illinois, Western Illinois. That's ain't gonna lie, that's a toss up. Boise State should beat Georgia Southern, but that's gonna be a good random ass game. Boise State going to Georgia Southern and in Atlanta. Well, not Atlanta. Hold on, that's not Georgia State. I'm sorry, Georgia Southern. That's in Statesboro, Georgia. That's a random ass game to go down there. But I like Boise State to win. South Carolina's a team I want to watch this year too as well. They should handle Old Dominion. Marshall, Stony Brook. I guess Marshall, California, UC Davis. UC Davis is a good FCS team. They may upset California. I'm not going to lie. Could be a 42-41 type game. South Alabama, North Texas. South Alabama, Mississippi State should win against Eastern Michigan. Liberty should win against Campbell. Virginia should beat Richmond, but Richmond beat them, I think, a couple years ago. I think Richmond also beat Virginia Tech a couple years ago, too. So a lot of them teams, like Virginia's and all that stuff, even like they all know each other. Like them boys went to school together and everything, high school. So I wouldn't be surprised if Richmond upset Virginia. Norfolk State, East Carolina should handle that, but Norfolk State, after looking at them last week, they have a good offense. Oregon State should beat the shit out of Idaho State. Alabama should beat the shit out of Western Kentucky. Ole Miss should put like 85 on Furman. Kansas State should beat the shit out of UT Martin. Arkansas State, Central Arkansas, I ain't gonna lie, Central Arkansas might beat. Arkansas State, y'all should win though. It's gonna be kind of high scoring. It's gonna be like that 67 to like 35 game. I can see that happening. South Florida, Bethune, like I said, Bethune could probably beat South Florida, but Bethune, man, you know, they had their troubles and whatnot. Cause they was very good a few years ago, but I don't know about now. So South Florida should handle them. They should, but South Florida been going through their shit too. And I'm gonna have an episode about like these teams that's just been terrible. There's probably gonna be another topic on the next episode. Let me see. Baylor, Tarleton State. Baylor should win, but Tarleton's a good team. Houston should beat UNLV, but that's gonna be a good game. Middle Tennessee State, Tennessee Tech. Like it's one of them toss-up games, but they should beat Middle Tennessee. Should beat them. Right, Sam Houston's gonna be a good game. I kind of like Sam Houston. I think they're gonna be a good team this year, especially. I think they in the Conference USA with us, so they're gonna be a good team. Troy, Nevada, toss up. I think, Troy may win. Troy got a decent team. I believe one year they went like 11-2 or something like that, or 10-2. I like Troy. Memphis, North Alabama. Memphis should handle North Alabama. Oregon, Ohio, Oregon. Y'all should beat these boys like 85 to like 0. This game right here is probably the most underrated game. Notre Dame and Texas A&M. Texas A&M, they got the old money. They got a new coach coming. They got a new coach and everything, but they just never took advantage of the NIL or even took, what I'm saying? They one of them teams, they never took advantage of the money since Manziel. Even when they had Manziel, they ain't go to the championship because they had no defense and whatnot. But Notre Dame should win. This game right here should be like 35-24 type game. Because Texas A&M is at home, they're gonna have like a little momentum, but Notre Dame should beat them. Michigan, Fresno State, Michigan should win. Pay attention to a lot to them this year. This is gonna be just a fun ass year, man. Auburn, Alabama, A&M. Auburn should win. Should take care of them. It may start off like slow, but Auburn should win like 34-14, or maybe in the range of like 50 to like 21 or something like that. Hawaii, UCLA should win, but they going through a lot of changes too. So I think Hawaii may start 2-0. Texas Tech should take care of Abilene Christian. Shout out to Abilene Christian. They always come out with these, which is a great thing. I ain't like dissing them, nothing like that, but they always come out with good to great prospects. Kentucky Southern Miss. Kentucky should win. Kentucky is a solid team in that tough SEC. To me, they gonna be like one of my underrated teams. BYU Southern Illinois. BYU should win. Georgia Tech, Georgia State. Georgia Tech should win. It's gonna be a good game though. The Battle of Atlanta. That's gonna be a good ass game. Cause they literally like, I think they all in down. I think Georgia Tech, Georgia State in downtown too. But it's gonna be a good ass game. I think that game may end up being like, it may start off as like 14-14, but Georgia Tech gonna prevail. They're gonna cruise. SMU should take care of Houston Christian. Louisiana versus Grambling, they should handle that. Louisiana Tech, Nicholas. Louisiana Tech should win. San Diego State should beat Texas A&M Conference. Utah State should beat Robert Morris, but like I said, some of these games are like fuck it, like Grambling could beat Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? Like, Nicholas could beat Louisiana Tech because Nicholas is always known to be a good FCS team. Same thing with Robert Morris. Same thing with James Madison. I forgot. Ain't nobody's name in the FCS no more. But I like James Madison beating Charlotte. James Madison gonna have a good team this year. Texas State gonna beat Lamar, but like I said, it's one of them games. It's probably gonna be like 26-24 type game. New Mexico State is actually real good. I don't know what the hell New Mexico got going on. But New Mexico State, I think they had like a 9-3 season, 9-4 or 10-3 season last year. But they on the way up. They should handle Southeast Missouri State. Arizona State should blow out New Mexico. Just talking about New Mexico, Arizona State, Wyoming. That's gonna be a good ass late night game. I like I like Wyoming in a slight upset. 24-20. No, it's gonna be high scoring. Maybe 42-28. Then Washington should handle Weber State. Yeah, they got they kind of like retooling, but Washington State should blow out Weber State. That's one of the teams I'm gonna look at this year too. All right, Sunday FBS we got LSU USC. That's gonna be a great game. Damn, this game gonna be like one of them 35. I want to say 35-31 type games. I got LSU winning. This game because I don't know who's the quarterback for USC. And then Monday, Florida State, y'all should beat Boston College, please. I don't want, imagine Miami winning and then y'all lose on Monday, on Labor Day, to Boston damn College. So y'all should win that game. So let's break it down to the FCS for Saturday. Let me see. Saturday and Sunday. I think Monday too. Let me see. Nah, it's just Sunday. Yeah. So Sunday, do this real quick because Saturday is crazy. North Carolina Central versus Alabama State. That's gonna be down here. That's gonna be the shout out to the Orange Blossom Classic. It's gonna be down here in Miami Gardens. Alabama State gonna win. I feel like it's gonna be a good game. I think it's gonna be like 28-24. Alabama State. They're gonna beat North Carolina Central. Let's go back to Saturday. Let me see any noticeable FCS. Dayton St. Francis, PA. That's gonna be a good game. I see Dayton winning. Northern Arizona, they playing some league in California. I think some of the FCS. So I think FCS teams they play like D2 teams, D3 or something like that. They play D2 and then or they play like NAIA, but NAIA teams they can play D1 too. That's another thing because I went to St. Thomas for my master's. I'm going right now for my doctorate. So basically, in the NAIA is like associated with NCAA. Is with NCAA, but it's like that. It's like that. It's a league where they could play anybody. They could play junior colleges. They could play. So they could literally play. Like, let's say they could play Kaiser University, but then they could turn around and play Alabama if they wanted to. That's NAIA. That they don't really have that much rules, but yeah, because like 1 year St. Thomas they played Villanova, and Villanova's an FCS. That's D1. So, but we beat them. I think we blew them out. Let me see. West Georgia, Sanford. I like Sanford. FAMU, South Carolina State. I like FAMU. Let me see. Hampton, Morgan State. I like Hampton. Let me see any noticeable like FCS. Rhode Island, Holy Cross. I like Holy Cross, Incarnate Word. I like them over Northern Colorado. I think it's gonna be a good game. Northern Colorado is a good team in the FCS. Prairie View, Texas Southern rivalry really early. I like Prairie View. See, McNeese State Southern. That's gonna be a good game. I like McNeese State. Cal Poly and San Diego is good. That's good games. I like Cal Poly. Montana's gonna beat Missouri State. Montana State gonna beat Utah Tech. So yeah, it's gonna be some good FCS teams. SED2, real quick, and then after that, I'm gonna talk about the different alignments. Then I'm gonna end the show on that. Let me see. D2, D3. What the hell is UAC? Hold on. UAC. I know. Oh, that's the conference. No, my bad. St. Thomas, Minnesota. The only reason why I knew about them because I was getting mixed up with St. Thomas, but they are a good team. They got a good stadium too. They kind of remind me of Grand Canyon. Like them boys, like they facilities is crazy. They gonna beat Sucks Falls, some rivalry shit. That's on Thursday. Yeah, a lot of these boys they play like some FCS like South Dakota play Northern State. What is that? So Northern State probably like a D2 school. South Dakota should beat their ass. Let me see. Kentucky State, Virginia Union. I like Kentucky State. Northern, like I said, Northern Arizona play Lincoln. That's why like a D1, D2 school. They gonna beat their ass. Sunday, yeah, that was Saturday, Thursday, Saturday. So they already got D2, D3. Already got them men's games and shit. Well, this week 1. Then Sunday they do play. So it's Tuskegee versus Johnson C. Smith. Tuskegee gonna win. Benedict College versus Virginia State. I like Virginia State, and that's gonna be on NFL Network. So yeah, like Tuskegee D2. I looked that up one day. It's a lot of. I be telling people it's a lot of HBCUs, like over 100 something. It's a lot of HBCUs. Like people always talk about the FAMUs and the Bethunes and the Alabama States and Mississippi Valley States and Jackson States and all them, but it's a whole lot of goddamn HBCUs. And that's another topic I want to talk about too. In another episode. So yeah, let's talk about this realignment. Let's talk about how I feel about it. First thing first, I thought it was gonna be horrible because it's like so many teams in one conference now, and then like majority of the teams that in them, they got added to. Some of them like play each other every other 2 or 3 years, anyways, in non-conference. But seeing like how the scheduling is, it's like they like the school still they can still play like they cupcakes, but they got to play like Texas and Michigan. They playing week 2. Like I'm not even talking about week 2 because we in week 1, but like you got to like it's gonna be more of that in the future. Like it's gonna be like Oklahoma playing like Clemson in the regular season. It's gonna be like USC playing Miami, like. It's gonna be like Alabama playing Ohio State in the regular season. Like we're gonna start seeing more of that in the very near future. That's why I love the realignment. See, hold on. Trying to look for the. I got it memorized, but I'm just trying to be careful. All right, so ACC, they added Cal, SMU, Stanford. There's not gonna be much of an impact this year. Like a lot of people say, they not the 3 that's added. It's not their favorites. But in the next 2-3 years, like Stanford, SMU, and Cal, they're gonna be really Stanford gonna be a problem because once they get used to like recruiting down south, plus the West Coast, because Stanford one of them schools where they can recruit anywhere because they are very great school educational wise, so they're gonna get the student athletes that's like live, but like live and smart. They be majoring in like business tech and like microbiology, like shit like that. But I'm just naming shit, y'all. But you know what I'm saying? Like they be signing like dentists, dentists and doctors and lawyers and whatnot. So they gonna be good. It's gonna be a 17 school, so it's gonna be good. ACC gonna be deep. It's gonna be very deep. Big Ten. Oh my God, they added Oregon, USC, UCLA, and Washington. But already like adding them 4 teams don't make it too much top heavy no more. Now it's like, all right, because you got Michigan, you got Ohio State, you got Penn State. That was the main. Well, Wisconsin too, because Wisconsin one of them teams where they like they're there all the time, but then they end up like losing at the end of the year. So I would say about top 4. So, but adding Oregon, adding USC, UCLA, but really Oregon and Washington is going to make the conference more mixed because, like I told you earlier, Michigan State, is one of them teams that can make a run. Shit, even Minnesota one of them teams too that can make like a ridiculous run. And Purdue, they don't get on runs; they just upset you whenever the hell they want to. So. It's like the Big Ten gonna be like the SEC. They gonna be killing each other. So the Big Ten's gonna be very interesting too. Big 12 is probably gonna be the most underrated conference because they got Arizona State, Colorado, and Utah. This conference gonna be crazy, dog. It's wide open to me. Like anybody can win it. I don't care what nobody say. Anybody can win it. I'm not even gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it next episode too. I'm not even gonna say my favorites. I'm just going over the conference realignments, but this is gonna be a deep. When I say deep conference. Pac-12 is not too packed. Got Oregon State, Washington State. I feel like long story short, not long story short, but like long thought short, whatever. Anyway, just one kind of getting to me, y'all. I think I think some schools from the Mountain West they're gonna come to the Pac-12, and the Pac-12 is not the Pac in general cannot go out like that. You know, y'all have so much history. I feel like they're gonna add like a Fresno State in the future. They're gonna add San Diego State in the future. They're gonna start adding teams little by little, like in 5 years. So, but they play majority of the teams this against Mountain West teams. So I feel like as like for example, like a North Dakota State, as you know, they better come up to the FCS. I mean the FBS. I feel like North Dakota State should go automatically to like a Mountain West. Instead of like a Conference USA, just go to Mountain West because y'all good. You know, y'all got the money. And y'all gonna get more money by joining the school, the conference. So as good schools like that come out, especially in the Midwest and out west, or even because right now people don't even care. You could be in the East Coast and be in the Mountain West. But anyway, cause I remember it was one point where they were trying to make the Mountain West like East and West. Because I heard FAU was trying to go to Mountain West. I heard I think it was not Syracuse. It was some other teams that were trying to go to the Mountain West. Anyway, long story short, the Pat, whatever this Pat is Tupac now, Tupac. But in the future they gonna be good. But right now it's looking like Kisa. Shout out to my Zoos. SEC got crazier, added Oklahoma, Texas. I feel like out of all the conferences, Texas is, you know, shit, even Oklahoma, they could be favorites. Because Oklahoma got the speed, they just don't have they don't have the man strength like them big boys. But Texas got everything. They built for the SEC. So to me, they should, and they have to win it this year because looking at the SEC now, you got teams that's on the down year like Florida. Kentucky gonna be on the down year this year. South Carolina gonna be kind of average. Florida coming, so I feel like some of these teams need, not just Texas, but some of these teams like Missouri need to take advantage. Oklahoma, Texas, Alabama, Georgia's gonna be Georgia. Georgia's stamped. They gonna be good every year, but like them teams besides them, Ole Miss too. Ole Miss they gotta like do something this year because teams like Florida, they are coming. They're gonna be coming for real. And I'm saying that as a Kansas fan, they gonna be coming. They very young. The AAC, they added Army because they lost SMU, so it's pretty much the same conference. They just added Army. Wide open, very wide open. Could be Memphis should win it, but it's a wide open conference. Conference USA, fuck that. FIU should win this shit. FIU or Liberty should win this shit. So you got FIU. The new team this year is Kennesaw State. So it's at 10 teams. I think Sam Houston, New Mexico State, and Liberty came last year. So this whole conference is like still brand new to all the teams, but FIU or Liberty or even Western Kentucky should like be the favorites. The Mid-American, the MAC. I remember the MAC went down. I ain't gonna lie. Like the MAC back in the day as a mid-major, they was kind of, them boys, that was had at least about 4 or 5 teams ranked as a mid-major conference. They went down. This shit wide open too. I ain't gonna lie. Cause back in my day, you had Bowling Green was good, Central Michigan was good, Miami of Ohio was good. Ohio was good now, but I'm talking about like Northern Illinois was good. Like this conference was like, it was great. I don't know if it's because the NIL, the transfer, and all that stuff, but this conference is gonna be wide open. Mountain West, we just talking about it. Let me see. They got 12 teams. Good, decent conference. Wide open too. But Boise State should win this conference. It's either gonna be Boise State or New Mexico State. No, not New Mexico State. Wait, hold on. Yeah, because New Mexico State in Conference USA. Yeah, it's either gonna be Boise State or UNLV. They should win it. I like Boise State, but I will get more predictions in the next episode. Sun Belt, still got the same 14 teams. I feel like the Sun Belt, they're gonna add more teams in the future because they're more like the gate to the FBS. But they're a great conference. They got Marshall, they got Georgia Southern, they got, South Alabama is good. You know what I'm saying? They got James Madison. That, to me, that conference is better than, of course, way better than the MAC, and it's better than the Conference USA. Don't be surprised if like a team from like the Sun Belt go in the playoffs. Cause I'm still gonna be thinking about a team out of that conference, like Appalachian State. I ain't even missing them. Arkansas State, like Coastal Carolina, like. That conference to me is like probably the best mid-major conference right now in FBS. If you ask me, but yeah, y'all, that's been my review for week 0, my preview for week 1, and then my conference alignments, my thoughts of it. To me, like I said again, is great because you get more teams to play each other, like the bigger schools. Also, a few rivalries that's been missed for the last 10 years are back, like Texas A&M, they're back. Colorado's back in the Big 12, so they get to play like the Kansases again, the Kansas States again. In the Big 10, you get new rivalries. You get Oregon, Ohio State. You get Wisconsin, UCLA. You get all these new like rivalries. You get what I'm saying? So I love it. And the great thing about it is too that everyone is gonna have a piece of it. Like so, NBC, ABC, Fox, of course, ESPN. Now I'm seeing that True TV going to show more games. The CW, they've been showing games. They always been showing games, but they're gonna have more Oregon, Washington State games. So this season's gonna be fun as hell, and that's why I said let me do weekly shit. So for that being said, this has been your boy
DJ Anonymous.
He's Anonymous with another episode of Sports Biz Music, the podcast, and we out. Peace easy.